Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's webinar, Active Shooter and Workplace Violence, Preparedness and Response.
Today's speaker is Richard Scott Mitchum, the Department of Homeland Security's Supervisory Protective Security Advisor for Southern California and Arizona. He has worked in military, law enforcement, and homeland security industries and is skilled in crisis management, law enforcement, security, emergency management, intelligence, and counterterrorism.
From 2000 to 2017, there were 250 active shooter incidents in the United States. So for that 17-year period, 250 active shooter incidents, as DHS and the FBI define it, which is 3 or more people killed. It's a lot, especially when you look at that within those 250 incidents, 799 people lost their lives and over 1,400 were injured during the day. Some statistics were just a 1-year period. From 2016 to 2017, there were 50 active shooter incidents in 21 states. Of those incidents, 221 people were killed. Keynote, all 50 shooters were male. And within this 1-year period, things to note, 8 of the shooters were stopped by average citizens. 11 were killed by police officers, 14 engaged in some type of gunfire exchange. And just as a side note, within those 50 incidents, 13 law enforcement officers were. Some more statistics, if we go back to 2017, 42% of these shootings happened in commercial facilities. The range from malls to banks to just about any facility that fits as a commercial office building type. There were 20% of them, a little over 20% were in education, so schools of the range, K through 12, all the way through colleges and universities. About 4 or 5% in healthcare, houses of worship. These get a lot of media coverage, rightly so, because the targets are even more generally clustered, easier. So I may have fewer attacks in a location, but a higher number of people injured, just because they're obviously not armed and they're frequently clustered. One thing to take on this too is we point out residences is about 4.8%, almost 5%. What we don't talk about a lot of times is the bleed over, no pun intended, the continuation of an event that started at home, that domestic dispute that went into the office. Some of the potential indicators we can look at are those talking about fascination with previous shooting events, the expression of paranoia or depression, so maybe overreaction in the workplace. If actually you can see this list and you can look through it, the thoughts and feelings and behaviors, you could probably, if you turn an honest microscope on yourself, go, you know what, I felt depressed occasionally. Maybe I've been a little paranoid that they've been out to get me. We're not looking at what all of us could kind of shrug off as, I was a little depressed today. I was a little overworked. Maybe I stayed out a little bit too late last night, partying and drinking. Those aren't what we're looking at. What we're looking at are the extreme, the noticeably extreme, to be exact. We're looking at a change in behavior that may be either side of the scale, where suddenly I'm very interested in stuff, suddenly I'm very angry, suddenly I'm breaking company policies and rules where I really didn't do that before. Or a swing of it where I was very kind of outspoken, I was very vocal about my concerns about things, and suddenly I stopped doing that. And that to the point that you, knowing them, recognize it as a change in behavior. So DHS looks at this, what some of the things that we could do within that time frame, really simply run, hide, fight. And with that, during an active shooter event, what should I do? Well, if I can, escape. Take as many people as I can with me, but get out of the building. Then you are no longer in danger. I've moved out, I've got away. If I can't do that, if I can't evacuate safely, I can't avoid the shooter and get away, then hide. And where do I hide? I need to hide in a place that the active shooter can't get access to, that I can barricade somehow, or is in a protective area that the shooter can't shoot through doors or through the walls. I need to find a place that they simply can't. And frequently, active shooters will go through, and if a door is locked, unless they know you're there and you're their intended target, or they really think they have a lot of time, they're going to go from door to door and just try to find the people they can get to as quickly as they can, because they're intent on kind of mass carnage. They're not focused on this door being locked. Often they don't know that door is not normally locked, and so they don't expend a lot of effort trying to get into that door unless they know that they have potential target. And then that last resort is fight. When your life is in immediate danger, you're trying to either disarm, incapacitate, or put the shooter in a position where they don't re-engage with you, and then you can, again, run or hide. Now, in some situations, imagine yourself in a lobby, a shooter comes in and starts shooting the lobby. You have to really quickly go through that run, hide, fight determination. And if the shooter's only a few feet away from you, you may need to make that decision that fight is actually that first option for you. You've eliminated run and hide, and fight needs to be there.